Hello, my lovely friends. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Well. What do we have? We have now the last 3 episodes of this Meghan and Harry, or this Harry and Meghan, however you want to say it, has dropped. We've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, you may know something about what was in it. And I wanted to take a look back. I wanted to kind of like take a bird's eye view of what we're looking at. Now, I could go into the last 3 episodes, which is what I started to do, writing notes about what I saw, but I'm sure you guys have all heard so much about that. I don't want to rehash things that you may have already heard, but taking a look back, a bird's eye view of what we have seen, and what does this mean? Harry and Meghan have done this checklist item off of their list, and they're on to the next thing. We know that Harry is now going to be doing the circuit of interviews to get people to buy the book coming out January 10th, Spare. Meghan, it was reported that she's supposed to be going on Jimmy Kimmel's show. I'm not sure why she never did, but I'm sure will be doing that as well to help promote Harry's book. Like, there's going to be this whole circuit of promoting this book. Also, that what has come out, if you haven't heard, I'm sure you probably have. So Lady Hussey and this lady Marlene, they've gotten together and they had like this little powwow of "I'm sorry, I forgive you," like kind of a session. And Harry and Meghan saw this and they were like, well, shoot, we want an apology. We want an apology. And now they're asking to have a sit down with the royals to kind of go over, what their wants are. And I just look at this all from Meghan's point of view. This is so coming from her. And I'm thinking to myself, do you not understand that, like, this is the royal family? This would be something completely private, even if they decided to do this. It's not going to be a reaction to your docuseries reality show. This is not going to be a way you can follow up with your needs and your wants now that you've dropped your reality show information. No, this is not that. Whole thing conundrum around even allowing this apology to happen as if there was something to apologize for. This Lady Hussey did nothing wrong. They should not have done this. See, it's almost like you're proving Harry and Meghan correct when you say that there is racism to apologize for. This woman did nothing wrong, and that's a whole nother story. But I'm not going to try to deviate off into that whole thing. But Harry and Meghan, you have done something wrong, something very wrong, and you don't deserve no apology for being your stupid selves. It's been reported that Prince William is saying to his friends, do not retaliate against Harry and Meghan, just ignore them. This is what the palace is going to do. They're just going to ignore them. And I think, if anything, that's just going to make them more upset. You're not going to give them the recognition that you've even seen the documentary reality show. And for Harry and Meghan to do this and to assume that your family that you are completely trashing is going to sit and watch you do this in a 6-part series, you are some idiots. There is no way they are going to watch this. And all you ended up doing at the end of the day, from a bird's eye point of view, is you have aired your dirty drawers, your dirty underwear, your dirty panties in public. You were like, look, y'all. Look at my stank. Because it was nothing but stank. It was nasty. It was disgusting. Your behavior is appalling. And I'm really surprised that so many people within media have taken their side. Now, I must admit, it has been the American media, journalists that I know that have seen this and have really looked at this as a two-sided story. People that know better, people that are teachers of journalism, have looked at this reality show piece of crap of Harry and Meghan, just believed it. That is what is so alarming for me. And I'm going to just let you in on some little inside information when it comes to people of color, like my kind of people, what I see. Black people can be just as racist. I'm sorry, but they can. This radio show teacher of journalism, Karen Hunter on Sirius XM radio. This woman has continually vouched for Harry and Meghan as if everything that they say is true. Even this Sunny Hostin, well, they said that, they were racist towards them. And it's like, if they said it, it must be true. Nuh-uh. These people lie, they make up things, and they are not to be believed. And I'm really taken aback by so many people within this profession of journalism looked at this reality show docuseries of Harry and Meghan and said that this information is factual. They had no counter narrative to anything that they said. It was all one-sided. Everything fed their narrative, fed their lies, everything. How can you respect something that only has one side? One of the golden rules that even I know in journalism is you have to get someone from each side of the story to be a part of the story you are telling. They only had their side of the story. So how do you explain that what you heard is the truth when all you heard was their side? And these, mind you, are the same people that will first say, before they say anything, this is what they'll say. Well, I don't know much about the royals. I don't really watch them. And then they'll go into what they're saying about what they believed. Well, if you don't know much about the royals, and that's how you begin your sentence, and then you go in and you explain why you believe what Harry and Meghan are saying is true, while at the same time, you don't even follow the royals, like you don't even put any interest into understanding how that life is, but yet you can so confidently say that what Harry and Meghan are saying is true. This is the first clue to anybody that wants to vouch for Harry and Meghan. If you are starting off by saying you don't know much about it, then you should shut your mouth about the things that they have said, because you don't know anything about the institution that they're complaining about. And if you are oblivious about the institution in which they are complaining about, how can you possibly talk about what they are saying is truth? How can you even do this? Tyler Perry did it. He did it in this whole reality show docuseries. He started his sentence off by saying that he doesn't know much about the royals. He doesn't follow it. It's like not his forte. But you know what? Based on what they said, they were abused because he was abused. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But if you are saying you don't know much about something and you are vouching for two known liars, and I'm going to say known liars because there have been things that had these people followed royalty, they would know that Harry and Meghan have been proven liars. They are proven liars. And these are reputable people, folks. These are people that have at their beck and call all kind of celebrity and recognition for their works. And now they are putting their voice to a false narrative. That is what is scary to me. Like my bird's eye view, looking down. And then also seeing how this bot sentinel, Christopher Boozy, how he was actually one of the professional voices of online hate, that he was even validated as a voice of reason. And it's like, you're validating a voice of reason, but do you know what this man Boozy has done? Do you know that he claimed, I forget the gentleman's name, but he had claimed that a certain person had committed a really heinous crime of rape, and he was sued for saying that, for defamation, and they won from default judgment because Boozy never showed up, because I don't know, perhaps he knew that he defamed somebody and he didn't have an argument against it. This is the same person that has actually been a proven troll himself. He has trolled people, and now he's given the voice of reason to show how Harry and Meghan were trolled, but you are of the same ilk that you are trying to call out as bad behavior. Like, you've done the same thing. So that's why I'm surprised that he was even in this docuseries. Like, Harry and Meghan, y'all just stepped your foot all in the nonsense mess. It's just like you just stepped in it. And you were like, oh, okay. You kept walking with the crap on your shoe. Like you didn't want to take it off, scrape it off and get rid of it. You wanted to sit your whole documentary series in the stank of nastiness and untruths. And then at the same time, call out the royal family for their mistruths and their lies. And this whole docuseries essentially was them countering all the things that came out in the media about them. Because if you're the average person watching this and you don't really follow the royals, the majority of these people thought this was just boring as all heck. It was just boring. And it really was boring in the context of watching something for entertainment purposes. Because what you were actually watching was their narrative against all the things that have come out against them that people like myself and others speak about. That's all they did. They came out with their version of things to counter all the stories that were spoken about them in the media. Well, if you don't watch it, it's not your forte, of course, you're going to look at this as being completely boring. And it really was. It was like, look at how in love we are. We love each other. Let's document it. Here's the camera. Kiss me, honey. Let's show the people we love each other. That's what they did. It was just like this constant schmooze fest. I love you. No, I love you. We love each other. Oh, we just so in love. Let's not talk about the bad people, the boogeymans. Let's talk about your brother William. And then they just give William a hard time. I mean, just really like your brother was screaming at you. Yeah, okay, that's what brothers do. They try to scream some sense into your head. Yeah, and all Harry got out of it was his brother was screaming at him. Well, I would think that was passion of you're doing something wrong. You are screwing up, man. Trying to scream some sense into your head is what your brother was doing, in my opinion. And then to get Beyonce to say that they are, or Meghan is helping to bring attention to, or to getting rid of generational curses. This is like witchery. I mean, I'm like, what curse? What curse? Like, what is it that Meghan is breaking down? What generational curses of what? Racism? From a woman who doesn't even look like a black woman, a woman that has never experienced true racism, but as soon as she comes into the royal family, oh, y'all racist. I know because I'm a black woman, and although I may not have experienced racism and people look at me not as a black woman, I know without a shadow of a doubt, y'all are racist. Yes. I just am looking at what they are doing, and I believe they are trying to bring down the monarchy. Because if they cannot be number ones in the UK, they definitely want to be number one in America, with a public of people that really don't understand the royal family and what it stands for, what it means. The majority, not all Americans, because there are the Americans like myself and others that follow it, that have an interest in it, but we are not the majority. So just like these journalists that have these huge platforms, even like on The View and other cable shows that believe the lies that Meghan and Harry are telling without understanding the institution of the British monarchy, they will vouch for this woman simply because what they do know and understand is racism. And this is why they speak in favor of it, because that's what they know. Don't know the British monarchy. So they're not going to go against it to say why Meghan is wrong, why Harry is wrong, because they know nothing about the British monarchy. And it's a cop-out. It's a way to be lazy. It's a way to just have a talking point for the sake of having it because, oh, I know about racism. Let's see how what they said is true. Oh, yes, it sounds good to me. I'm gonna be their biggest cheerleader because that's what I know. And to not speak out in a way that is balanced shows you're lazy. You don't want to do the work to understand what the British monarchy is. And you just want to vouch for a liar. Now, you may not believe you're vouching for a liar, but I'm telling you, as a person that knows both sides, I'm telling you, you vouched and you have put your name out there vouching for known liars and hypocrites. That is what is scary to me in the big bird's eye picture of all of this. So what does it mean? It means that there could be a momentum coming behind the lies of Harry and Meghan as they continue to put out their false narratives. We know that there's a book coming out. We know that Meghan is going to forge more relationships and friendships with people that have platforms and voices. A lot of people are talking about her wanting to run for president. And I know that sounds ludicrous to us that know what's going on. Don't think of it as being so off the chart. I mean, this is America. This is America. And Meghan is a very tenacious woman. And with her tenacity comes, by any means necessary, getting what you want. Looking at everything that has happened with this docuseries, the lies that were told, how people of respected journalist practices are believing the lies, how they are themselves contributing to something to continue their own narrative of wanting to talk about racism because that's what they know. In all of that, they are fueling something that is non-existent. They're fueling something that is not being intellectually honest because they're not really trying to even learn about the British monarchy or see things from the royal family's point of view. That's the problem that I have with this whole docuseries and the people that have fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. That is, for me, the biggest takeaway from all of this. We know that there were lies told during the Oprah Winfrey interview and that there were also lies told during this reality show docuseries. What Netflix has essentially done is they have put this hundreds, millions of dollars of propaganda out into the world. And it was nothing more than propaganda. It was to show people a one-sided story of something and to appear as if it were balanced. When you don't give both sides, you are trying to give people information to believe you without the counter narrative. And when you do that, you're doing nothing different than the propaganda that came out during World War II about the Jews. You are allowing people to base an opinion on how you feel you've been treated rather than looking objectively at both sides of the information. And most Americans are not going to look at this and go, well, let me see, what are the royals saying about this, huh? What are they saying about this information? I need to look at it. I need to weigh it on both sides. I need to look at what Harry and Meghan said. And now I need to go look at what the royals say. Well, the royals they're not going to tell you anything. They're just going to ignore it. So you're never going to get the counter narrative. And you are going to just have their side, and it's going to continually run in the States with more propaganda, and more people will start to believe it. That is very dangerous, very dangerous. And I don't know what to say in terms of the royals not giving their counter to this narrative. I think you can always try to go and say, okay, well, this is the real truth every time they come up and say something. But then that's just a waste of energy. It takes you away from what you're trying to do, which is continually to keep your work moving forward in the UK and the Commonwealth and all the realms. Like, that's what your work is. So they're not going to stop and give this counter narrative. But at the same time, I do believe that in the States, more specifically, we need to have a more balanced counter to this, whether it be Netflix being regulated or having more people who have platforms like these celebrities look at things more balanced, like Oprah and Tyler Perry, Gayle King. Like, these are people that have big platforms, but they're running with Harry and Meghan's side because, like I said before, they just want to talk about what they know and dismiss what they don't know. That's very dangerous here. So with that said, I believe this whole docuseries is meant to do harm to the British monarchy. I believe that it has done harm to the narrative in America, because Americans are going to take it hook, line, and sinker. They're going to believe it just like they did at the Women's Fund when I went. And I thought about, well, what could it be that we could do here in the States to counter that narrative? I think perhaps maybe there should be more mainstream talk about what the British monarchy is. It should be more information that highlights what the British monarchy stands for and get people to see it as something different than what they have been fed to believe that it is. I don't know what that would mean, but I think that could be a step in the right direction. I'm at a loss for what is to come next. And I think There needs to be a counter narrative. I know it won't be the royals in the UK, but at some point, somewhere, somehow, there needs to be a very big, strong voice to the narrative of Harry and Meghan in America before their lies continually start to grow here in America.